All right, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Go ahead and pull up a chair and let's have a conversation so you can receive this information. If you've never been here before, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, please. This channel seeks to keep people updated on what is going on in the immigration circle. Now, this video today, we will be talking about two things. One, we will be talking about, is it criminal to be undocumented in the United States of America? Many people are misinformed. This part of the video is going to be intense and extensive, so we will save that part of the video for later. The other conversation we will have is quickly passing out some information concerning green card holders. So the first part of this video, if you are not a green card holder or you have no green card holders in your family, this might not apply to you. For the people with green cards, when you get that green card, it's like one of the happiest days of your life. So you've gotten your green card, and one of the first things you want to do when you get your green card, you say to yourself, yes, I can travel freely now. So the first thing I'm going to do is go home, back to my home country, and visit grandma, or visit mommy and daddy, or visit my children if I haven't seen them in years, however long I've been waiting out for this green card. You take yourself and you travel. Please understand this, and I was not aware of this either. Everyone is aware that once you have a green card, you can only stay out of the country for so long. Too much staying out of the country for extended periods of time can result in your green card being taken away. But here's another catch that I think you need to be aware of, and this mostly applies to the people who have had a green card for less than 2 years. Let me repeat. This mostly applies to the people who have had a green card for less than 2 years. While it's not strictly prohibited for green card holders with less than 2 years on their green card to travel outside of the USA, it is not strictly prohibited, but it is strongly advised to avoid doing so. And if you have to do so, avoid extended international travel during that period. So, those who have more than 2 years on that card, they can probably get away with staying out a little bit longer than you who've had it for less than 2 years. You are still in what is like a probationary period, and it could raise concerns about your intentions to maintain permanent residency in the USA and potentially jeopardize your status, especially if you plan to stay abroad for extended periods of time. In such cases, applying for a reentry permit is crucial to maintaining your green card status. Now, I don't know if a lot of people don't know this, but we'll fly by this information quickly just to reiterate. Conditional green card. A green card holder who is within the first 2 years usually has what is called, quote unquote, a conditional green card. Now, I know you got the green card and you're like, yes, I got a green card like everybody else that has a green card. Auntie has one. She's had hers for the last 8 years. My cousin has one. He's had his for the last 7 years. My other uncle has one. He's had one for the last 9 years. Your green card and their green cards are two different green cards. Their green cards are pretty much seasoned. They have proven that their intentions are to live, work, pay taxes, build a life in the United States of America. You are in a probationary period if you are less than 2 years, and you are under a conditional green card, meaning you need to file a petition to remove the conditions before fully establishing permanent residency. I don't know if you are aware of such, but that is so. Now, about maintaining residency. To maintain your green card, a lawful permanent resident must demonstrate to the U.S. authorities an intention to live primarily in the United States of America, which, if you start doing extended travels or started taking too many trips, especially if you are in the probationary period or the conditional green card phase, this could jeopardize your chance to actually stay here. And then let's talk about the reentry permit. If a green card holder plans to be outside of the U.S. for more than a year, and this applies to whether you've had it for 6 years, 4 years, 2 years, or just got it. If you just got it, I would advise you not to have reasons to be out of the U.S. for a whole year plus. But for those who feel like they have some kind of need to do this, then they should apply for what is called a Form I-131. Form I-131. That is a re-entry permit. And this re-entry permit could help you to avoid potential issues up on re-entering. The last thing you want to do is try to re-enter into the United States of America and you are stopped and they cut off the corners of your green card and you're stuck, right? I'm doing this video because there was a white woman who just did a video. Now, I'm not the one for race and color and all that, but I do find it very weird that ICE raids and immigration raids are not necessarily done in Caucasian communities so much, right? They are mostly done in Hispanic communities and black communities. So there are lots of European featured people who are in the United States of America who help to make up the 11.5 million illegal immigrants or quote-unquote illegal immigrants in the United States of America. And we don't see deportation flights heading that direction to those European countries where they come from. So when I saw a video this morning of a woman explaining that her niece has a green card and her niece is studying in the United States of America. She went to go pick her up at the airport, but she was not able to get her because they stopped her niece, cut off the corners of her green card, and has been holding her there in a room with other people in the room. Her warning was that if you have a green card and it is less than 2 years old, please do not go away on any kind of extensive travel. As a matter of fact, find a reason to not even travel, period, for the first 2 years, just so you get out of this conditional green card period. And it was based on her video that I went and did some research, and lo and behold, on the law site, it says, while it is not strictly prohibited for green card holders with less than 2 years on their green card to travel outside of the U.S., it's not strictly prohibited. There's nothing that says you cannot do it. However, it is strongly advised to avoid it. There you are. So now, with that said, I hope that helps somebody. Now, let's move on to talking about criminally being in the United States of America. We hear the phrase or the term illegal aliens all the time, and the word illegal just means against the law to us, but it also gives an idea that something criminal is taking place, right? So, is being undocumented in the United States of America a criminal offense? Okay. So we go over to the law libraries, and then we go over to the ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union Foundation, and their Immigrants' Rights Project, and we take all the information from there. So, apparently there has been a drive to criminalize undocumented immigrants. In the last video I did to this channel concerning immigration, I said that being undocumented in the United States of America in itself, by itself, is not a criminal offense. There are people in my comment section who are arguing with me that that is a lie and I must stop spreading misinformation. Now, you know me. I am very big on spreading proper information, and I hate misinformation. So, because you've been taught to say something for years does not mean that it's actually factual. So let's get into this. Over the past several years, states and localities around the country have increasingly considered the use of state and local laws to impose criminal penalties on undocumented immigrants. They've been trying to do that. At the same time, the federal government has increasingly chosen to criminally prosecute individuals who enter or re-enter the United States illegally rather than to rely on the extensive civil enforcement scheme under the federal immigration law. This is why you need a good immigration attorney when you are caught up. In public policy debates about criminalizing undocumented immigrants, anti-immigrant lawmakers and groups, they often throw around the terms like criminal alien and other misleading rhetorics and statistics suggesting that all undocumented immigrants are criminals or that they are a danger or a threat to the community. Such language, though, can actually distort debates about the appropriate use of local criminal laws and of federal prosecutorial resources. Now, local and state officials, they also often misunderstand the nature of the criminal provisions in federal immigration laws and the authority of states and local government to criminalize undocumented status. Pay attention. Here we are about to discuss questions that arise when a state seeks to enact new criminal laws or proposes using existing state criminal laws to punish individuals for being undocumented. I think some of you have got this already, but for those who don't, is the fact of being present in the United States in violation of the immigration laws a crime? Is it a crime? Are you committing a crime? I saw people in my comment section from my last video that said, if you're in the United States of America and your visa has expired, you're committing a crime already anyways. So it's illegal and you're committing a crime. The answer to that question is actually no. The act of being present in the United States in violation of the immigration laws, yes, you are violating the immigration laws. It is not a crime. Standing alone by itself is not a crime. I know a lot of people hate to hear this because you've had it in your head all along that they're criminals. And some people would say, well, what crime did they commit? And your answer has always been, they're here illegally. That in itself is a crime. I'm here to tell you that the act of being present in the United States in violation of the immigration laws is not, standing alone in itself, a crime. Now, while federal immigration law does criminalize some actions that may be related to undocumented presence in the United States, undocumented presence alone is not a violation of any federal criminal laws. So, many believe that the term illegal alien, which may suggest a criminal violation, is actually inaccurate or misleading. Entering the United States without being inspected and admitted, which is called illegal entry, that is actually a misdemeanor, or it can also be a felony, but it depends on the circumstances. Under 8 USC Article 1325. But, get this part, many undocumented immigrants do not enter the United States illegally. I'm going to say it again. Many undocumented immigrants do not enter the United States illegally. They enter perfectly legal. The United States of America has about 11.5 million illegal immigrants here in the United States of America. And almost half of that, about 45 to 49% of that, they entered legally, but they overstayed. Or they ended up working without authorization. Or they came on student visas and ended up dropping out of school, or violating the conditions of their visas in other ways. Some got married and then decided to file for legal status through their spouse while they are here. Now, current estimates are approximately 45% of undocumented immigrants from that 11.5 million came here legally. Undocumented presence in the United States of America is only, this is the part I want you to get, because I was arguing with somebody yesterday in the comment sections, and I refuse to argue with people who refuse to just go to the proper places and read. Undocumented presence in the United States of America is only criminally punishable if it occurs after an individual was previously formally removed from the United States and then they returned without permission, and that is under Article 8 USC 1326. Say it again. Undocumented presence in the United States is only criminally punishable if it occurs after an individual has been formally removed, which means that person was deported. If they deport you out of this country and you find your way back into this country without permission to be here, now you have committed a crime. Any individual previously deported or removed who enters or attempts to enter or is at any time found in the United States without authorization may be punished by imprisonment for up to 2 years. This is the law under Article 8 USC 1326. Mere undocumented presence, just only by itself, undocumented presence in the United States alone, however, in the absence of a previous removal order or in the absence of unauthorized reentry, is not a crime under any federal laws in the United States of America. So, you can stop saying now that they are criminals. And when people ask you why you say that, You say, well, grandma is a criminal because she overstayed her visa. And once your visa goes out of date and you're no longer properly documented to be here, you are committing a crime. There is no law in the United States of America that says you are committing a crime and you're breaking a criminal law by doing that. Yes, one of the most controversial provisions of H.R. 4437, which is called the Border Protection, Anti-Terrorism, and Illegal Immigration Control Act of 2005. I state my sources so people can go look for themselves. Or the Sensenbrenner bill. The Sensenbrenner bill would have made simply being undocumented in the United States a felony. Although that was passed by the House of Representatives, the bill was rejected by the Senate after massive street demonstrations around the United States of America and sharp criticism of the provision criminalizing undocumented presence. So needless to say, it did not pass. Senator Harry Reid attacked this bill. He called it making criminals out of and demonizing a lot of hardworking people who are just trying to provide for their families. And because of that, it did not become a felony. Because of that, it is not criminal to be here undocumented just simply by itself. Are undocumented immigrants, or what they call criminal aliens, under federal law? The answer is no. Are undocumented immigrants criminal aliens under federal law? Are undocumented immigrants criminal aliens under federal law? The answer is no. Now, despite the anti-immigration rhetoric, criminal alien is not even a legal term. It's not a legal term. This is why, if you notice, you will see them use the word migrants. They don't use criminal aliens or illegal aliens. This is what people in the streets use. It is not a legal term. So again, are undocumented immigrants criminal aliens under federal law? The answer is no. And despite the anti-immigration rhetoric, criminal aliens, quote unquote, is not a legal term, and undocumented immigrants are not criminal aliens under any federal laws in the United States. The term criminal alien is not defined anywhere in the Federal Immigration and Nationality Act or in the INA. Go look it up. To the extent it appears at all in the INA, it is used in the subject heading of several provisions that describe documented and undocumented immigrants who have been convicted of criminal offenses after a trial or a guilty plea that are designated as aggravated felonies or as crimes involving moral turpitude. See 8 U.S.C. Article 1226, Article 1228, and Article 1252. That's the only time it's used. They must have already been through a court hearing. They must have already either pled guilty or have been found guilty of criminal offenses. A conviction of such a crime may subject an immigrant to removal from the United States, even if he or she is a lawful permanent resident. In contrast, immigrants who are undocumented but have not been convicted of any crime or not referred to as criminal aliens under the immigration laws. This is what people in the streets use, not in the law. This is why it's super important, again, if you're going through any immigration issues, to get you a good immigration attorney. Is federal immigration enforcement a criminal or a civil system? Let's get into this. Federal immigration laws are principally enforced through civil proceedings administered by the Department of Homeland Security and lead to removal from the United States. That means the immigration system lacks many of the protections that are triggered when someone is charged with a crime. So, some immigration violations are also designated as crimes, usually misdemeanors. However, civil removal proceedings or deportation proceedings far outnumber criminal prosecutions, and they remain the primary manner in which the federal authorities enforce the immigration laws. It is through a civil manner, not a criminal manner. And for those of you who are having a problem understanding what that means, let's look at it like this. Donald Trump he went to court and he was found not guilty of rape in a criminal court, right? If he was found guilty of rape in a criminal court, he would be labeled a rapist. However, he also went to a civil court after, and in a civil court, he was found liable and ordered to pay that individual, the woman, millions of dollars. So, civil court versus a criminal court are two different things. Usually in civil court, people go after money. If you look at Sean P. Diddy Combs' case, you will see that most of the people who have accused him of anything, they have not brought criminal charges against him. They have brought civil charges against him seeking money that does not come with a prison time if he loses at that civil court. So, being in the United States of America, undocumented is a civil offense, and it is through a civil court that deportation proceedings take place with the Department of Homeland Security, not a criminal court. I hope this helps somebody. Each one, teach one. It's 2025, man. We'll soon be going into 2026. Listen, we live in a world now where information is at your fingertips. Okay? All I ask is that people vet their sources, but it's time that we get off social media platforms where we only read other people's comments and we actually go read some documents for ourselves and then vet the sources of where you're getting your information from for yourself. I hope this was helpful to someone. Leave your comments in the comment section below, and I'll catch you on the next video. It's SouFLoTV. I'm out. Peace.